Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We recently got some new details on Black Ops 7 when it comes to being able to download the game early. I also got some additional info for you guys on how you could potentially play the game early if you're interested in that, and what to expect as far as preloading goes, and of course the global launch as well. Now that we're only a few days away, figured we'd go through and we break down all the details you need to know for this. And as we do so, if you guys are excited for Black Ops 7, you're looking forward to the content, do me a favor, drop a like on this video. And of course, if you want to stay in the know for absolutely everything going on in Black Ops 7, we've got some very busy weeks ahead with launch. I'll have you guys covered on settings, the weapons you need to look out for, what you got to pay attention to for the Warzone integration, all the latest updates as they're rolling out. This is going to be the place to be to stay up to date with all of that. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. But here we got this blog that they actually released a little bit earlier on this week. Wasn't breaking or anything like that, but they do include some information you definitely want to know for early downloads and the launch cycle in general here for Black Ops 7. So we ended up getting a PC trailer. We've got full PC specs. They actually detail some new features here as well. So let's go through, let's break down what exactly they've got going on with this. Of course, we had that PC trailer. They say the game is engineered for PC, working in parallel with Treyarch through the game's development. Beenox presents the Black Ops 7 PC experience, tailor-made to give players complete control over their experience while bringing all the features and performance that players have come to expect from robust PC games, including player choice, so easily optimizing visual fidelity and highest possible FPS, wide range of hardware support, whether you're playing crisp graphics, ultra smooth, high FPS gameplay on higher end setups, or you have a more standard setup and whatnot. It's ideally going to be optimized across the board. Tons of customization, display optimization, cutting edge upscaling, the PC benchmark tool, the Ricochet anti-cheat, a new thing introduced, subframe mouse pulling, increased mouse precision for aiming. Hopefully this is sort of in tandem with their updates to aim assist and the tuning that they're doing there that they've talked about a little bit recently to balance out the inputs so that controller is not so dominant in those close range fights and that things are more balanced across the board in general there. Then also dynamic RGB if you want as well. Here's the main stuff, the main focus here though when it comes to downloading early, and then again in a little bit we'll touch on actually potentially being able to play early if you're doing specific things here. So as far as the preload for this, if you plan on playing Black Ops 7 on day one, you absolutely want to do this. Everybody on November 10th at 9 a.m. Pacific time can preload the game. Doesn't matter if you're on console or PC, last gen, current gen. November 10th, 9 a.m. Pacific time, you can download the game, you can preload it and have everything installed. That way when the game does launch on November 13th/14th, you are good to go. You can jump on. There will probably be like a day one little hotfix update that rolls out, and then you're set. You can play right away the instant that the game does release, rather than waiting for the game to launch and then you have to go through and download it and you're just stuck waiting for that to finish up. So if you plan on playing on day one, absolutely want to go through and preload the game. Now the global launch, this is where things get interesting because it is a global launch, but also it is rolling out across the globe. It's not a hard launch everyone at the same time like certain updates are. This is something that you can kind of cheese if you want to play the game a little bit early. Now if you are a Battle.net or a Steam player, the game just standard, doesn't matter where you are in the world, is launching at 9 a.m. Pacific time on November 13th straight up. However, on Xbox and PC, the Microsoft Store, and on PlayStation, it's the regional rollout basically. So starting at 3 a.m. Pacific in New Zealand basically is what that translates to. 3 a.m. Pacific is when the game starts to roll out, all the way until 10 p.m. Pacific at night for, America and everything going on there. So this means that you can go through either on Xbox, on PlayStation, or if you purchase the game through Microsoft Store on PC, you can start playing the game as early as 3 a.m. Pacific on those platforms. Unfortunately, Battle.net and Steam can't do that, but this does allow the New Zealand trick to work. And if you're unfamiliar, Charlie Intel goes through and explains this and says if the New Zealand change works similar to last year for Black Ops 7, here's how it should work. On PC, it's only available on the Xbox PC app, so don't try this if you're on Steam or if you're on Battle.net, it will not work. But if you change your PC region to New Zealand, you then change all of your Call of Duty account information to a New Zealand address on the Call of Duty website, you can then go through, purchase the game after rebooting your computer, and actually play it early. On Xbox, if you change the region to New Zealand, you change your COD account to a New Zealand address on the COD website, you can purchase the game via New Zealand and then play the game early. And on PlayStation, if you change the COD account to a New Zealand address on the COD website and you have a PlayStation account that's set up with a New Zealand address and you buy the New Zealand PlayStation points or whatever, you can purchase the game that way and play it early. So this should fully work as it has for the past few years, unless they do some very sneaky stuff behind the scenes or something. So you can actually play the game early with this method here and get a few extra hours in potentially before the game releases globally at 9 p.m. Pacific there for the other platforms basically. But as far as that global rollout, going back to this, of course, for part of the world, it's going to release on November 13th, late at night, of course. And then for a lot of the world here, basically everyone outside of North and South America, the game will be releasing officially on November 14th, with that first starting up in New Zealand, going over to Sydney, Tokyo, etc. there, with that regional rollout. It kind of waves back there as time goes on. So if you're not planning on doing New Zealand or you don't care about that, pay attention to what time the game is going to release. Definitely do that preload so you're all set up and you'll be good to go there. Then of course they do give us the official PC requirements here as well. So just going section by section here: minimum recommended, competitive, and 4K ultra. Minimum CPU, they want you on an AMD Ryzen 5 1400 or an Intel i5 6600 minimum, 8 gigs of RAM. Video card, either a Radeon RX 470 or a GeForce GTX 970 or 1060 or an Intel Arc A580 there. 3 gigs of VRAM. OS Windows 10 latest update at the absolute minimum. Then 116 gigs of storage space available at launch. For the recommended specs here, a Ryzen 5 1600X or an i7 6700K. 12 gigs of RAM. For graphics, either a Radeon RX 6600 XT, a 3060, or an Intel Arc B580. 8 gigs of VRAM. Windows 11 on the latest update as well for your operating software. 116 gigs of storage there. And then for competitive settings, they want you on a Ryzen 5 5600X or an i7 10700K minimum, 16 gigs of RAM. For graphics card, either an RX 970 XT or a 480 or 5070 minimum there, 16 gigs of VRAM, and the latest Windows 11 update as well there. There is some handheld stuff going on here just behind the face cam as well. There is some optimization going on there for performance on the go for Windows-based handhelds there. So that is an option as well if you're interested. A little bit more niche there, but those are the general PC requirements if you're interested in that. Obviously, another thing you want to prep for launch as well if you're playing on PCs to get the latest drivers. They've actually already got some stuff going on with the AMD software through that app. And then also, I believe there is a new driver out for NVIDIA cards as well there. So make sure you're on the latest driver so that that's all set up and ready for day one as well. And of course, as they mentioned, this also runs on most Windows-based handhelds. Most being the keyword there for sure. And of course, they want you to pre-order now. So those are the main details you need to know for launch of Black Ops 7 there. Definitely wanted to go through and do that preload regardless of if you plan on doing the New Zealand method or not. You want to have that downloaded and ready. And of course, if you're trying to play the game a little bit early, you can do that New Zealand method if you're interested there. That is going to wrap things up though. If you guys enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It's always seriously appreciated. And if you're new here, you want to ensure you're always up to date with everything going on in Call of Duty, this is the place to be. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.